In previous lectures, we have discussed already about the basic concepts of chemical equilibrium, that we have discussed the law of chemical equilibrium, the state of chemical equilibrium, and the equilibrium constants, different type of equilibrium constant, different type of equilibrium constant depending on the terms concentration, pressure, activity, and mole fractions of their reactant and products. In this section, we will discuss the relationship between the different type of equilibrium constants. So for this, firstly we derive the relationship between the equilibrium constant in terms of pressure and in terms of molar concentration of reactant and product. That for in terms of pressure, we represent the equilibrium constant by K and subscript by P, and in terms of molar concentration, equilibrium constant represented as capital K and subscripts by C, C for concentration. For this, let us consider a general reversible reaction in which A moles of A and B moles of B react with each other and resulting into the formation of L mole of product L and M mole of products M. Now, according to the law of equilibrium, the equilibrium constant in terms of molar concentration can be given as Kc is equal to the ratio of the product of the concentration of product to the product of the concentration of reactant, and each raised to the power its coefficient. That is for firstly the product of concentration of product, that is concentration of product L and its power small l m power m, and denominator में reactant A concentration and its power small a its coefficient, and reactant B its power its coefficient, that is small b. We can also represent the concentration in terms of C. So therefore the product concentration of product L we can represent as C subscript L and its power, that is coefficient of product L, that is small l, and C subscript M its power small m. And similarly for reactant concentration C subscript A and power its coefficient small a, and C B for reactant B and its power its coefficient of B, that is small b. If these are the expression when the reactant and products are represented in terms of their molar concentration, that is in moles per liter. When reactant and products are in gaseous form, then we can represent the equilibrium constant in terms of pressure. For this, the concentration terms in the law of chemical equilibria are replaced by the partial pressure. So the equilibrium constant in terms of pressure, that is Kp, can be represented as the ratio of the product of partial pressure of the product to the product of partial pressure of the reactant, and each raised to the power its coefficient. So for that product L we can write here partial pressure of L its power small l, and for product M we can represent here pressure of M and its power small m, and denominator में pressure of reactant A and into pressure of reactant B and its power B. Now we know that for ideal gas equation is PV is equal to nRT, where P is pressure of the gas, V volume, and the number of moles of the gases, R gas constant, and T temperature. From here we derive the relation between pressure and concentration. Is ideal gas equation को we can write that P is equal to N by V RT, where N number of moles per unit volume is represented as the concentration of that particle or substituent or gas or solution. So we can write here P is equal to CRT. Put this value of pressure CRT in equation third, because for general this is we derive the general reaction P is equal to CRT. Now we can also represent here the pressure of reactant A, B and the product L and M. So for this we can here write PA is equal to CART, PB is equal to CBRT and PL is equal to CLRT and PM is equal to CMRT. Put all these values of PA, PB, PL and PM in equation third. So we get the result KP is equal to CLRT की पावर L, CMRT power M, CART की power A, CBRT की power B. From here we simplify these equation and we can write the concentration of L power M, concentration of M power M and इंटू आर टी अगर आप यहाँ देखो इस रिलेशन में तो आर टी न्यूमरेटर में है आर टी की पावर एल इंटू आर टी की पावर एम हेयर वी कैन ऐड दीज पावर्स एंड वी कैन राइट हेयर आर टी की पावर एल प्लस एम. Similarly in denominator we can see that RT की power A and here RT की power B. So we can also add these powers RT की power A plus B. And for simplification we can also write all over RT numerator में है L plus M and denominator में है A plus B. So we can write here RT की power L plus M minus A plus B. So and these term becomes equal to the equilibrium constant in terms of concentration. So we can write this expression as Kc. So this equation becomes as Kp is equal to Kc into RT की power delta n, where delta n is the L plus M minus A plus B. L plus M is the number of moles of the product and A plus B are the number of moles of the reactant. So delta n, when delta n is equal to 0, it means the number of moles of product is equal to the number of moles of reactant. Then that time RT की power delta n 0, then RT की power 0, it means its value 1 and Kp becomes equal to Kc. It means the equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure will becomes equal to the equilibrium constant in terms of concentrations. Now the relationship between equilibrium constant in terms of mole fraction and the equilibrium constant in terms of pressure as well as equilibrium constant in terms of concentration. Now according to Dalton's law we can write the here that partial pressure of in a ideal gas mixture, partial pressure of a constituents P is equal to the mole fraction of that constituent and total pressure. So for a general reversible reaction, here are the constituent reactant and product. So for reactant and product, we can write here the partial pressure of product L is equal to mole fraction of L into total pressure. Also partial pressure of product M, here we can also write here the mole fraction of M into total pressure of M. Similarly we can write the expression for P a reactant and similarly for PB. Now put this value of partial pressure in equation third that we shows in equation in this slide for equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure. So put all these values in that equation third and we get the result Kp is equal to X in terms of mole fraction XL XM divided by XA XB and here P total pressure है in numerator we get L plus M and in denominator we get P power A plus B. So we can write here in same place and we can write here P L plus M minus A plus B. So L plus M minus A B by B को मैं क्या लिख सकती हूँ डेल्टा एन में. डेल्टा एन रिप्रेजेंटेशन है डेल्टा एन क्या है द डिफरेंस इन द नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट एंड द नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ द रिएक्टेंट्स. सो दिस एक्सप्रेशन becomes the equilibrium constant in terms of mole fraction. So we can write here the kxp delta n. This is the relation between the equilibrium constant in terms of pressure and the equilibrium constant in terms of mole fraction. If delta n is equal to 0, then equilibrium constant in terms of pressure will becomes equal to the equilibrium constant in terms of mole fraction. Now we also derive the relation here between Kp and Kc. So comparing this for equation number 4 with equation number 5. Here we can also this is equal to kp. We can also write here kp को हमने लास्ट स्लाइड में किया था, kp इज इक्वल टू के सी आर टी की पावर डेल्टा एन. सो वी पुट द इक्वेशन हेयर इन इक्वेशन 5. फ्रॉम हेयर के सी इज इक्वल टू आर टी है वो इस साइड लेफ्ट साइड से राइट साइड आएगा तो मल्टीप्लिकेशन में हो जाएगा. एंड वी कैन ऑल्सो राइट हेयर p by RT and the whole power delta n. And now according to the ideal gas equations, for 1 mole PV is equal to RT. From here RT, by simplification this equation we can write P by RT is equal to 1 by V. Put this value of P by RT in this equation number 6. Here we get Kc is equal to Kx 1 by V delta n, where delta n is the difference in the number of moles of the product and the number of moles of the reactant. So from here we write that Kx is equal to Kc V delta n. If n delta n is equal to 0, as we all discuss all the relationship, in this case when delta n 0, then all the equilibrium constant, different type of equilibrium constants will become equal. That is kp is equal to kx is equal to kc. Now next, relationship between equilibrium constant in terms of activity and equilibrium constant in terms of concentration. In these relations, here we know that activity is related to molar concentration as in terms of activity we discuss in details in next slides. So for this, firstly just remember that activity is just a substituent for concentration, and activity is directly proportional to concentration. For remove the sign of proportionality, here we put the constant of proportionality, that is gamma, which is known as activity coefficient of the substances. So the relationship between activity and concentration is activity equal to activity coefficient into concentration of that substances. So when we write the equilibrium constant in terms of activity, then here we can write as equilibrium constant, that is Ka is equal to activity of product Al into activity of product M and activity of reactant A denominator में and activity of reactant B. Now substituting this value of activity product L, M, A and B according to these relations. From Al, here we can write in the place of Al gamma L into Cl, and Am की जगह हम रख सकते हैं gamma M Cm. ए की जगह हम रख सकते हैं गामा ए इंटू सी ए, एंड गामा ए बी की जगह एक्टिविटी ऑफ बी की जगह हम रख सकते हैं गामा बी इंटू सी बी, एंड ईच रेज टू द पावर इट्स कॉफिशिएंट. सो हेयर वी कैन सेपरेट द बोथ गामा टर्म्स एंड कंसंट्रेशन टर्म्स. द गामा टर्म्स को वी कैन राइट हेयर के सबस्क्रिप्ट गामा, एंड दिस टर्म इज बिकम्स concentration equilibrium constant in terms of molar concentration. Therefore we can write this as Kc. From here we derive the relations Ka equilibrium constant in terms of activity is equal to equilibrium constant in terms of activity coefficient into equilibrium constant in terms of molar concentration. If for a very dilute solution the concentration almost becomes equal to 0, then that time activity becomes equal to concentration, and activity becomes equal to concentration, then activity coefficients becomes equal to 1. When activity coefficient becomes equal to 1, then that time equilibrium constant in terms of activity approximately approaches to equilibrium constant in terms of molar concentrations. And these are the relationship between the equilibrium constant, different type of equilibrium constant, as in terms of activity, in terms of molar concentration, in terms of partial pressure, or in terms of mole fraction. Now what is the activity and fugacity? As so many times it was observed that the some thermodynamic properties which are calculated using the pressure and the molar concentrations, the value of that thermodynamic properties are not the same. Your calculated value of that thermodynamic properties are not the same as observed experimentally. This is due to the fact that due to intermolecular forces of attraction, the actual pressures of the gas is lesser than the expected ideal gas pressure. Because of this reason, when the pressure is lesser than the expected pressure, then the thermodynamic property which is derived from the pressure are not exactly same as the observed experimentally. So for similarly in case of solution, the effective concentration is less than the expected concentration. So the scientist J. N. Lewis introduced the term or introduced the concept of activity and fugacity. G. N. Lewis introduced the concept of fugacity as a substitute for pressure of a gas and the activity as a substitute for the concentration of a solution. Now we know that for an ideal gases, as in case of thermodynamics, the free energy and the pressure are related as G is equal to RT ln P plus C, where RT R gas constant, T temperature, P pressure and C is a constant. If when P here P is a pressure and the fugacity is used as a substitute for pressure. So when we replace the P by fugacity, that is F, then we can write the relation as G free energy equal to RT natural logarithm of F, that is fugacity, plus C. Here in this term, however, when the value of G, absolute value of G is not known, so the value of constant C cannot be determined accurately. So for this consideration or for determination of constant C, a standard state is chosen or as a reference state. In the standard state, the free energy of the gases can be represented as G and naught as a superscript and the fugacity as a F naught, then we can write the expression 2 as G naught is equal to RT ln F naught plus C. Comparing now equation second and third, subtract the equation third from equation second, we get that the G minus G naught is equal to RT ln F minus F naught. From here log A minus B, we can write log A by B. Now this ratio, fugacity ratio, is known as activity of the gas. This activity of the gas is defined as the ratio of the fugacity of the gas in a given state to the fugacity of the gas in a defined standard state. Now put the value of the ratio of fugacity equal to activity in this equation number 4 and we get that G minus G naught is equal to RT ln A. From here G is equal to G naught RT ln A. When the state is a standard state, at a standard state, G is equal to G naught. When G is equal to G naught, it means RT ln A will be equal to 0 and the only possible condition that RT ln A will be equal to 0 only and only when A, it means activity is equal to 1 because logarithm of 1 is equal to 0. Thus in terms of activity, we can define the standard state. The standard state of a gas is that state in which the activity of the gas is unity. Now we can also derive a relationship between fugacity and ideal gases pressure, as we already introduced that fugacity is just a substitute for the pressure of the gas. So fugacity is directly proportional to pressure. When we remove the sign of proportionality, then here a proportionality constant is introduced. This is represented as gamma and known as a fugacity coefficient. From here fugacity coefficient will be equal to the fugacity divided by pressure. That is here, thus fugacity coefficient may be defined as the of a gas may be defined as the ratio of fugacity of the gas in a given state to the pressure of the gas in the same state. As the pressures decrease, it means pressure becomes almost approaches to zero. That time fugacity will be equal to pressure, and fugacity when equal to pressure, then F by P, that is their ratio, will become equal to 1. It means fugacity coefficient will become equal to 1. From Similarly, as we can also derive here that when gamma, that is gamma will be equal to 1 for a ideal gases, but for a real gases the active fugacity coefficient may be more than 1 or less than 1. That will be depending upon the nature of gases, that is its temperature and pressure condition. Now the deviation of value of fugacity coefficient from unity will be the measure of the नॉन आइडियल बिहेवियर ऑफ द गैसेस. गामा कॉफिशेंट जो है फ्यूगेसिटी कॉफिशेंट वो 1 से जितना ज़्यादा डेविएट करेगा, इसका मतलब वो उसके आइडियल बिहेवियर से भी उतना ही ज़्यादा डेविएट कर रहा है. इट मीन्स जितनी डेविएशन होगी फ्यूगेसिटी कॉफिशेंट में उतना ही उसका नॉन आइडियल बिहेवियर होगा गैसेस का. Similarly, for a real solution, or that is, we can say that for a non ideal solution, the activity is a substitute for the concentration. So activity is directly proportional to concentration, and when sign of proportionality removed, then a constant of proportionality is introduced, that is gamma. In this case, gamma is known as activity coefficient. From here, gamma can be written as a activity by concentration. This activity coefficient of a component in the solution is defined as the ratio of the activity of that component in the solution to the concentration of the same component in the solution. When the solution is very dilute solution, that is concentration is approaches to zero, at that time activity becomes equal to concentration and their ratio becomes equal to 1. That means activity coefficient approaches to the value 1. When approaches activity coefficient is equal to 1, that means that solution behaves as a ideal solution. But when there is a deviation in the value of activity coefficient from 1, then this show the non-ideal behavior. Greater the deviation of gamma from unity, more is the non-ideal behavior of the solution. From here, activity coefficient can be also written as in term of molality. When concentration is expressed in term of molality, then activity coefficient can be represented as the ratio of the activity of that component solution to the molality of that component in the solution. Similarly, a concentration can also be represented in terms of mole fraction. In term of mole fraction, activity of ith component here can be written as activity is equal to activity coefficient into mole fraction of that constituent. Now, in terms of fugacity and activity, the thermodynamic relations are changes as no. For that, consider a reversible reactions. The equilibrium constant in terms of activity, we already discussed this type of relations, and activity equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure, we already discussed about this. When fugacity is a substitute of pressures, then we can also write here equilibrium constant in terms of pressure, in which pressure is replaced by the term fugacity. So in terms of fugacity, the equilibrium constant can be written here in this form. Now the expression for free energy in thermodynamics, we have discussed the change in Gibbs free energy in terms of pressure. Delta G is equal to RT natural logarithm of final pressure divided by initial pressure for an ideal gases. When fugacity is a substitute for pressure, then free energy for a real gases can also be written in the similar manner as in ideal gases. So for a real gases, delta G will be equal to RT natural logarithm of fugacity of final condition and divided by fugacity of initial condition. Similarly, the expression for G at any state is equal to for ideal or gases or ideal solution can be written here. G is equal to G naught RT natural logarithm of P. Now for real gases or real solution, here we can also write here G is equal to G naught RT natural logarithm of activity. Now, partial molar quantities. What are the partial molar quantities? Partial in physical chemistry, partial molar quantities are the most important term, as we know that the thermodynamic properties are basically of two types: intensive properties and extensive properties. Intensive properties are those thermodynamic properties which depends only on the nature of the system, while the extensive thermodynamic properties are those properties which are not only depends upon the temperature, pressure or nature of the system, but also depends upon the number of moles or amount of the system. That is when the value changes इन मासेस और किसी भी सिस्टम में जब हम उसके कॉन्स्टिट्यूट के नंबर ऑफ मोल्स या फिर मास में चेंजेस करते हैं तो उन प्रॉपर्टीज़ की वैल्यू भी चेंज हो जाती है। उन थर्मोडायनेमिक प्रॉपर्टीज़ को हम बोलते हैं एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टीज़। तो सम प्रॉपर्टीज़ लाइक फ्री एनर्जी, इंथैल्पी, एंट्रोपी, फ्री एनर्जी एक्स्ट्रा, दीज आर एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टीज़, मीन्स देयर वैल्यू चेंजेस विद चेंजेस इन मास, or that is we can say that number of moles of the system. Let us consider an open system. Open system is that system which provides or in which both matter and energy can changes. Let us consider an open system which containing a large number of constituents and having n1, n2, n3 number of moles of various components. लेट कर लिया मैंने कोई भी एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी है, एक्स जनरल केस डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, और एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी है तो ये टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर का फंक्शन होने के साथ साथ ऑल्सो फंक्शन ऑफ द नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ वेरियस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स। सो जनरल एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी एक्स है, वो क्या फंक्शन है? टेम्परेचर, प्रेशर्स and the number of moles of various component of that system, that is n1, n2, n3 and I up to so on. From here, when there is a small changes in temperature, pressure or the number of moles of their component, then the total change in the property, so we can write here the relation as the change in property x for a small change in temperature, pressure and the number of moles of the constituent. We can write here dx is equal to the change in that property with respect to change in temperature at constant pressure and the constant amount of the various components. So we can write here curl x by curl t at constant pressure and number of moles into dt. Similarly curl x by curl p, जब p changes हो रहा है then p को छोड़ के बाकी अदर कॉन्स्टेंट्स है वो क्या है? कांस्टेंट है। सिमिलरली व्हेन टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर में चेंजेस ना हो रहा हो, उसके कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स के नंबर ऑफ मोल्स है वो चेंजेस हो रहे हो, देन वी कैन राइट हियर कर्ल एक्स बाय कर्ल एन आई n1 अगर मैं फर्स्ट के लिए लिख रही हूँ इंटू डी n1 एंड अदर चीज टेम्परेचर, प्रेशर n2, n3 आर कॉन्स्टेंट. Similarly, when there is a change in the number of moles of second component, then we can write here curl x by curl n2 and n2 को छोड़ के बाकी सारे टेम्परेचर, प्रेशर n1, n3 एंड अदर कंपोनेंट्स के मोल्स हैं वो कांस्टेंट एंड सिमिलरली डी n2. इसी तरह हम n3 के n4 के लिए अप टू सो ऑन लिख सकते हैं. This is the relation for the change in property x when there is a small changes in temperature में change हो सकता है, pressure में हो सकता है, या फिर constituents के किसी भी एक part में या फिर more than one में अगर changes हो तो total changes के relation है. प्रॉपर्टी में कितना चेंजेस आएगा उसके रिलेशन को हम इस तरह से लिख सकते हैं. लेट कर लो कि टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर कांस्टेंट है. इट मीन्स टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर में कोई चेंज नहीं आ रहा है. जब टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर में कोई चेंज नहीं आ रहा है इसका मतलब चेंज इन टेम्परेचर दैट इज डी टी विल बी इक्वल टू जीरो एंड डी पी विल बी इक्वल टू जीरो. पुट द वैल्यू ऑफ डी टी एंड डी पी इक्वल टू जीरो इन दिस इक्वेशन सेकेंड. वी गेट द रिजल्ट dx at constant temperature and pressure curl x by curl n1. n1 को छोड़ के फर्स्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूट के अमाउंट को छोड़ के टेम्परेचर, प्रेशर एंड अदर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट के अमाउंट दैट इज n1, n3 आर कॉन्स्टेंट इनटू dn1 प्लस में कर्ल x बाय कर्ल n2 टी टेम्परेचर, प्रेशर n1 एंड n3 यानी कि n2 को छोड़ के बाकी सारे यहाँ पे कांस्टेंट इनटू dn2 एंड अप टू सो ऑन. In this equation, this right side term here represent the partial molar property of that particular constituents. For this right hand side, let's consider this first term. ये फर्स्ट टर्म हमें क्या बता रहा है, उस एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी में चेंज बता रहा है कब, जब कभी एक कंपोनेंट में चेंज हो रहा है। और सेकंड है वो कब बता रहा है, उस एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी में चेंजेस बता रहा है जब सेकंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट की अमाउंट है वो चेंज हो रही है। तो हम हर एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट में चेंज होने से जो प्रॉपर्टी में चेंज आ रहा है उस चेंज को बोलेंगे वो उस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट की क्या है, पार्शियल मोलर प्रॉपर्टी है। एंड वी कैन रिप्रेजेंट द पार्शियल मोलर प्रॉपर्टी बाय पुटिंग ए बार ओवर द कंसर्न्ड प्रॉपर्टी and for the number of the constituent respectively. For this, let us consider this is the change in extensive property when the number of moles change in first constituent, then this is the partial molar property of the first constituent. So we can write here that molar quantity है, then molar partial molar property को मैं क्या लिख सकती हूँ, एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी में x लेके चल रही हूँ तो x प्रॉपर्टी और उसके ऊपर बार पुट कर दिया। यहाँ पे जस्ट ये दिखा रहा है कि पार्शियल मोलर प्रॉपर्टी है और यहाँ सबस्क्रिप्ट कौन सा लगाने, वो कौन से कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट की है, फर्स्ट है कल N1 है तो N1 के लिए x1 बार। सिमिलरली फॉर सेकंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट में चेंज होने जो एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी में चेंजेस आ रहा है वो कौन सी पार्शियल मोलर प्रॉपर्टी है सेकंड कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट की। सो हेयर वी कैन राइट हेयर x बार एंड सबस्क्रिप्ट 2। सिमिलरली फॉर ith कंपोनेंट के लिए क्या होगा, कर्ल x बाय कर्ल Ni, टेम्परेचर प्रेशर एंड N1 N2 Ni को छोड़ के बाकी सारे नंबर ऑफ मोल्स क्या रहेंगे, कांस्टेंट। एंड हेयर वी कैन राइट दैट द पार्शियल मोलर प्रॉपर्टी फॉर ith कंपोनेंट x बार एंड सबस्क्रिप्ट क्या हो जाएगा I। दस द पार्शियल मोलर प्रॉपर्टी को क्वांटिटी को हम कैसे डिफाइन कर सकते हैं कि पार्शियल मोलर क्वांटिटी है वो चेंजेस है उस एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी में कि जब हम किसी मिक्सचर में कोई एक प्योर कंपोनेंट ऐड करते हैं या प्योर कंपोनेंट के अमाउंट है वो मोल है चेंज करते हैं तो वो चेंजेस इस तरह से होता है कि वहाँ पे टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर एंड कंपोजिशन में कोई चेंज नहीं आता है, लेकिन उस प्रॉपर्टी उस एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी में जो चेंज आएगा वो उस कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट की पार्शियल मोलर क्वांटिटी होगी। अब वो चेंजेस है, अब एक्स तो मैंने जनरल केस किया है, एक्स यहाँ पे हो सकता है वो इंथैल्पी हो तो हम वो बोलेंगे कि वो फर्स्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट की कौन सी मोलर प्रॉपर्टी है, पार्शियल मोलर इंथैल्पी है। सिमिलरली हो सकता है एक्स जनरल प्रॉपर्टी एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी एंट्रोपी हो तो हम बोलेंगे कि वो ith कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट की कौन सी प्रॉपर्टी है, पार्शियल मोलर एंट्रोपी है। सिमिलरली हो सकता है एक्स है जो अगर वो फ्री एनर्जी हो, अगर एक्स फ्री एनर्जी हो तो चेंज इन फ्री एनर्जी विद रिस्पेक्ट टू चेंज इन द नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ ith component, then we can say that will be the partial molar free energy. So when now our next topic is partial molar free energy. Partial molar free energy is the change in free energy with respect to the change in the number of moles of that components. So when for a general ith constituent we can write the relation that what will be the gi बार है, इट्स मीन्स ये क्या है, पार्शियल मोलर प्रॉपर्टी है और कौन सी है, ये गिव्स फ्री एनर्जी की है। सो वी कैन राइट हेयर दैट जी बार आई है वो क्या है, पार्शियल मोलर एनर्जी एनर्जी है। इसके रिलेशन को मैं क्या लिख सकती हूँ, चेंज इन गिव्स फ्री एनर्जी विद रिस्पेक्ट टू चेंज इन द नंबर ऑफ मोल्स ऑफ ith कंपोनेंट एंड ith कंपोनेंट को छोड़ के बाकी सारे कंपोनेंट्स के अमाउंट है वो कांस्टेंट एंड ऑल्सो टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर इज ऑल्सो कांस्टेंट। सो दिस partial molar free energy is also known as chemical potential and can be represented as mu. So what is the mu or what is chemical potential? अगर आपको आ जाए कि डिफाइन केमिकल पोटेंशियल तो केमिकल पोटेंशियल क्या, जस्ट ए पार्शियल मोलर फ्री एनर्जी है। तो पार्शियल व्हेन कर्ल एन आई इज इक्वल टू 1 मोल। अगर मैं मोल में चेंजेस ith कंपोनेंट में 1 मोल का चेंजेस लेके आ रही हूँ, दैट टाइम केमिकल पोटेंशियल विल बिकम इक्वल टू कर्ल एन आई की वैल्यू 1 हो जाएगी, देन म्यू बिकम्स इक्वल टू कर्ल जी एट कॉन्स्टेंट टेम्परेचर प्रेशर N1 and N2. From here we can define the chemical potential. So the chemical potential of a given substance is just the change in Gibbs free energy of the system when 1 mole of that particular substance at a constant temperature and pressure is added in such a large quantity of system that there is no appreciable change in the overall composition of the system. Means केमिकल पोटेंशियल है वो जस्ट क्या होता है, गिव्स फ्री एनर्जी में चेंज होता है व्हेन, जब हम किसी लार्ज सिस्टम के अंदर किसी एक पर्टिकुलर सब्सटेंस का 1 मोल ऐड करते हैं, उस टाइम पे उस सिस्टम में कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट प्रेशर्स पे गिव्स फ्री एनर्जी में कितना चेंज आता है, वही उस सिस्टम का उस सब्सटेंस का क्या कहलाता है, केमिकल पोटेंशियल. सो नाउ टेकिंग फ्री एनर्जी एज द एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी, जैसे ही मैंने जनरल रिलेशन डिराइव की थी एक्स के लिए कि कोई भी एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी है एक्स, अगर एक्स एक्सटेंसिव प्रॉपर्टी और पर्टिकुलर चेंजेस हम लेके चलें, स्मॉल चेंजेस टेम्परेचर प्रेशर एंड कंपोजिशन में, तो हम रिलेशन को क्या लिख सकते हैं, उसी तरह एक्स की जगह जस्ट आप फ्री एनर्जी लेके चल लो. अगर फ्री एनर्जी में लेके चलूँ तो फ्री एनर्जी के लिए रिलेशन क्या लिख सकती हूँ, कर्ल जी बाय कर्ल T1 प्रेशर एंड N1 N2 3 कांस्टेंट ले लिया मैंने dt. सिमिलरली कर्ल जी बाय कर्ल p dp. सिमिलरली कर्ल जी बाय कर्ल N1 कर्ल dN1 कर्ल जी बाय कर्ल N2 dN2. व्हेन टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर कांस्टेंट है देन dt एंड dp विल बिकम इक्वल टू 0 एंड एट कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर दैट इज dg एट tp विल बिकम्स इक्वल टू कर्ल जी बाय कर्ल N1 dN1 एंड कर्ल जी बाय कर्ल N2 at dN2. Now we also discussed that what is the curl G by curl N1, that is chemical potential of component 1, and curl G by curl N2, that is chemical potential of component 2, that is mu 2. So this equation can be written as dg at constant temperature and pressure mu 1 dN1 plus mu 2 dN2, where mu 1 and mu 2 are the chemical potential of constant 1 and 2. And for a system, when taking the integration of this equation, by taking the integration here we get the result gives energy total at constant temperature pressure and total number of moles. We get the N1 mu1 and N2 mu2, where mu1, from this equation we derive that mu1 and mu2 are the क्या contribution है just component first and second का towards total free energy. Thus the chemical potential है constitute किसी भी मिक्सचर का जो टोटल केमिकल पोटेंशियल है वो उसके कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स का कंट्रीब्यूशन होता है पर मोल टू द टोटल फ्री एनर्जी ऑफ द सिस्टम एट कांस्टेंट कंपोजिशन एंड कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर एंड प्रेशर. अगर मैं यहाँ इक्वेशन में ये कह दूँ कि कोई एक प्योर सब्सटेंसेस है या फिर प्योर गैसेस है, प्योर सब्सटेंस है इसका मतलब एक ही टाइप का, वहाँ पे N1 N2 N3 लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, एक ही कंपोनेंट है तो वो N टाइप का है. और अगर मैं वो भी 1 मोल ले लूँ कि प्योर सब्सटेंसेस है और वो 1 मोल है तो N की वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगी, जस्ट 1, और mu1 mu2 सब क्या हो जाएगा, जस्ट म्यू के इक्वल. तो दिस इक्वेशंस बिकम्स G इज इक्वल टू म्यू. एट दैट टाइम द फ्री एनर्जी विल बी identical with chemical potential. Now next here that Gibbs-Duhem equation. In Gibbs-Duhem equation that let us consider a G, that is free energy, as a extensive property. When G as a Gibbs free energy is extensive property, then it is function of temperature, pressure and the composition moles, number of moles of their components. So F temperature, pressure N1 and N2. When there is a small changes in temperature, pressure and the number of moles of various components, then the changes in free energy can be obtained as dz equal to curl G by curl T, constant pressure and constant N1 N2 dt. Similarly, curl G by curl P at constant temperature N1 N2 dP. Similarly, curl G by curl N1 dN1, curl G by curl N2 dN2. Now at constant temperature and pressure, putting the value of dt and dP equal to 0, and we get the relation only in terms of partial molar gives free energy. Here del dg is equal to curl G by curl N1 dN1, curl G by curl N2 dN2, and curl G by curl N1, that is partial molar, gives free energy of first component. Here it can be represented as the chemical potential mu, that is mu1, and for second components it can be written as mu2. Thus we can obtain here putting these values in equation third, and we get the relation dz at constant temperature and pressure mu1 dN1 and plus mu2 dN2. Now for a system having definite composition, by integrating this equation fourth, we get that G is equal to N1 mu1 and 2 mu2. Just integration kar do equation fourth ka, and we get the equation 5. Now total differentiation of G in equation 5, अब फिफ्थ का आप टोटल डिफ्रेंशिएशन लो, डी जी है वो क्या हो जाएगा N1 mu1, यानी कि N1 एज इट इज़ mu1 का डिफ्रेंशिएशन दैट इज़ डी mu1, एंड सेकेंड में mu1 एज इट इज़ n का डिफ्रेंशिएशन दैट इज़ mu1 इंटू डी n1. Similarly, n2 mu2 को n2 constant d mu2 plus mu2 constant and d n2. By simplifying these, we can compare equation 4 and 5. From equation 4th and 5, we get that mu1 dn1 mu2 dn2 है वो किसके इक्वल है dg के, तो we can write here dg, and dg minus dz will becomes equal to 0. So we get from this, by comparing equation 4th and 6th, we get n1 d mu1 plus n2 d mu2 becomes equal to 0. These are for two components. When for ith component, we can also write that summation of ni, that is ith components ka number of moles into d mu I will be equal to 0. This relationship is known as Gibbs-Duhem equations.